Hello out there. Jane asked me to paint her a picture. Okay, always a tricky thing to happen. Doesn't happen often, but it happened. I'll let her explain to you what she had in mind. Okay, stay safe, and what follows might bore you, but I'm doing my best.
I asked David to do me a painting of wrestlers, which he's done, and I'm real pleased with it. I particularly like the bums of the men. Anyway, I was really inspired by the fact that David did a picture for our grandson Theo of some wrestlers. I was a bit jealous of it, really. And so I said, do one for me. And this is what he's done. And I think it's pretty brilliant. I hope you agree. Bye.
First thing, we look for images online. Where else? So we look for images. Wrestlers. Various images available. Frankie Bacon comes to mind. Wonderful Frankie. Let's have a look and see what he does. It's a little bit obscure, so it's probably not going to be suitable, but it gives me ideas. There he is, Frankie with his wrestling men. Also, he took his images from Muybridge, Edward Muybridge. And there's some Muybridge photographs of naked men wrestling. Not really very useful to me in this context. And then another image crops up quite a lot from 3 BC. Not the BBC, 3 BC. It's a Greco-Roman statue of men wrestling. And it crops up. And there's another version that's not the suitable angle. And there's another version of it too. And it's everywhere. And it is rather good. So, not having other good images to fall back on, I opt for this one. This is going to be nice. Okay, so fair enough. I'm putting those wrestlers, that image, onto my picture. So what I need is a background to this too. So I think, well, Greco-Roman temples, a big temple in the background. That would be rather nice. Look at temple images, full on, face on, kind of architectural projections. That's a nice one. It's quite neutral. I can mess with that. I can transfer that onto the image without too much trouble. And then I thought, if Jane wants naked men wrestling, then I'm going to include some naked women as an audience. So I go online and look for Greco-Roman naked women, goddesses, etc. And you know what they seem to do, these women? They seem to be looking, they seem to be watching something going on. And I thought, that's great. Look at the way that they're peering down. And I thought I can put them in the background as an audience. And that'd be nice. So we'll have naked men wrestling, watched by naked women. There she goes. She's looking over to see what's going on. She's not very interested. I didn't in fact use her. So, there she's looking. So the next job is to compose the picture. So what have we got? We've got 2 men wrestling, we've got a group of women watching, and we have a backdrop of a temple. This is the drawing in ball pen, and that's my initial composition. This is on a piece of paper, what size was it? 23 by 16, not very thick. And I'm going to use acrylic and other materials. I'm starting with acrylic paint. Just watered down a little bit, nothing too thick. And slap in some colour, get this white covered up. There it goes, bit of yellow on the temple, bit of blue sky. Just an initial idea, just something to get started with. Okay, then I need the figures painted in a little. There they go. I've got viridian under the skin, so I can paint over and they look kind of realistic, but I'm still not sure what I'm actually doing yet. Temple looks very yellow. But this is just an undercoat to get me started. Figures are looking more naturalistic, put some paint over that viridian. Getting that done, but I'm not really happy just using paint everywhere, but I am painting over the temple. Some white paint. Acrylic, I can put as many layers on as I want. So it's a lovely, amenable medium. And I'm introducing watercolour pencil onto the bodies of the wrestlers and onto the bodies of the women too. At this stage, the women's faces look very pained and dark. And I think that was something to do with my own condition at that point too. Introducing colours into the temple. I mean, the picture by this stage I'm not really in control of, it's just evolving. And I look at it and think, maybe I'll do that, maybe that'll be nice too. So the picture kind of has a life of its own to a great extent. Introducing stars in the sky, little spots of white acrylic, about as small as I can make them, but I know that in any stage I can paint around them with more blue, and the blue may need some more layers and touches in anyway, just to give it more depth. Now I'm going in with the brush, and now I'm toying with the pencil, the watercolour pencils. So as I brush water into the picture, I'm picking up all kinds of pigments in different depths, and it gets interesting, especially on the two wrestlers and on the women to a degree as well. I've also introduced masks to cover the women's faces too. Adds mystery, solves the problem of the faces not being as interesting and as good as I'd like. Going in with more touches on the figures, applying more pencil and more paint as well. Remove some of those stars, they were a little bit over the top, but you put more stars on, you can always eliminate stars. And touching in the shadows, putting detail into the background. Watching it happen in front of your face. It's not all about planning, it's also about allowing things to happen. Jane made the useful comment that the two male figures were rather dark, so I dusted them with pastel, white and yellow, to highlight them and bring them forwards as the main characters. And I've also put an inscription across the temple where it seemed to need one. That inscription actually is Illegitime non carborundum, which is a spoof Latin phrase which translates as do not let the bastards grind you down. I just thought it was fun, and I added that as just a touch, a finishing touch perhaps. There's the picture hanging on the wall. Doesn't look too bad. Mounted it on a piece of card, glued it down with Pritt stick, flattened it out. It was a bit rucked with all that acrylic on that thinnish paper, but it works fine. And here we have the happy owner posing with her picture. She looks pleased. I'm pleased. 50% pleased, 50% relieved. I'm quite happy with it, really. Looks very strange to me now. It was a sort of struggle, but you come through, don't you? And the harder it is, the better the work. Well, I hope this has been of interest. Some interest and possibly even some use to you. It was fun putting the picture together, and it was fun putting this little movie together too. If you've gleaned anything from it, amazement, incredulity, amusement, I'm glad. What more can I ask? Thank you for watching, and we'll all meet again soon, I hope. Things are looking good. Chin up, stay safe, and we'll all see each other soon. Bye.